Welcome to Sacred Cow Shipyards, where no ship is safe from being called a cow. Apparently, your planet has somehow managed to once again complete an entire orbit around its sun without being smacked by some large object or another, so we have once again returned to the season on said planet, where you are supposed to exchange gifts with one another. Not sure why you only do it once a year, but at least it's a tradition on your planet. There's a lot of other planets that are a whole lot worse off than y'all, which is kind of weird when you think about it. But anyways, regardless, gifts. Well, I am clearly giving you a gift by giving you a bonus episode the literal day after you already got a normal episode. I mean, for heaven's sake, yesterday's episode was huge. Huge. Absolutely huge. And here I am giving you another episode, so you might as well be grateful for that. But in terms of, giving gifts and such, why should I just limit myself to giving y'all gifts? So as such, and in the spirit of my enormous magnanimity, I will also be giving some other YouTube channels some gifts, hopefully some traffic, hopefully some subscribers. That's the whole point of this episode. Yes, this is in fact a referral episode. This is an episode where I talk about other channels on YouTube that you should be following in addition to me. Obviously, you should be following me or subscribing to me or whatever it is YouTube calls it. But you should also be subscribing to these people. In fact, I think most of them are actually humies. Well, although one of them is technically a ship, but we'll get there. You know what? Let's just get started. And what better way to start than one of my very favorite channels on your YouTubes? Honestly, I'm not even joking here. And that is a channel that goes by the name of Star Wrecked.
A sneaky, sneaky boy. No one really knows what he won't do. He'd have to kill you if you ever really knew.
Now, yes, if I have not made this abundantly clear in the past, this is, in fact, a Garrick appreciation channel. And yes, the Tailor Shop song that you just heard a clip of, was how I came to know about Star Wrecked. Suffice to say, all of their other products are equally impressive and amusing and just generically wonderful if you are at all a Star Trek fan. You will probably hear me say this quite a lot during this episode, but his production value, whatever the hell that means, is much higher than mine. And his both singing capabilities and makeup skills are just simply amazing for something that he probably does in his spare time. I don't know. But it doesn't matter, though. I mean, the whole production was perfect, and he spliced it all together and did the whole performance, and it was amazing. And he's got a whole channel full of things like this. Go watch some. Pause this episode, go watch some stuff, and then come back. It's fine. Nobody cares. Just, make sure you come back, right? And speaking of coming back, I would be terribly remiss if I didn't encourage you, exhort you, tell you to subscribe to the Battleship Texas channel. It is an affront to the great maker that the Battleship Texas has fewer subscribers than the Battleship New Jersey. Now, granted, New Jersey is still, floating and not currently being laid up having massive amounts of necessary work done to her, so I kind of understand it. But still, go subscribe to the Texas. It's the Texas. It is the literal last dreadnought on your planet, I think, technically. And yes, I know that I said that dreadnoughts don't actually exist, just like literally yesterday. And I understand that Texas might be a little perturbed about that. But still, it is a historically significant ship, a historically significant design, and for fuck's sake, it did the gangster lean. Come on. I have no idea why you would be subscribed to this channel and not that channel. Go forth, subscribe. But speaking of production values and all the rest of that nonsense, allow me to introduce you to the channel called OK Champ.
It's the 18th century, and Britain rules the ocean. G'day, sir. Have you ever considered a career in the Royal Navy? Oh, no way!
This channel actually makes a point of doing, costume dress up and acting and performing in his episodes as he tells you some stuff about history, which is honestly kind of cool. The Humie obviously cares about history and knows it quite decent deal about it and is very interested in imparting his knowledge to you and encouraging you to look up more stuff on your own and learn about the world around you. It doesn't hurt that he actually spent some time talking about the press gangs that the once great British Empire used to use as a way of, finding crews for their ships. They kind of kidnapped them. The people and then turned them into the crew. Yeah, whole complicated topic that actually sparked a war on your planet. And he does a pretty decent job of explaining the whole thing, complete with costumes. I mean, come on. You humies like this whole cosplay dress-up thing, right? There's a channel that's trying to teach you stuff while it does that. Go watch him. And I told you I'd say it a few times in this episode, so I might as well live up to my promise. But the production value of the next 2 episodes are also equally as good, although I don't know if the savants in charge of them actually appear in them. Regardless, this next channel is called Angle? I'm honestly not sure. It's a weird term, but I'll link it and you'll find it, and it's fine.
I just shat myself.
I want you guys to imagine, as one often does, that you have a pet monkey. And while you're trying to play a video game that you've never played before and trying to get into, this monkey is in your room, climbing around, screaming at the top of its lungs, and flinging its poop at your screen. That was my first experience while trying to play Deep Rock.
Anyways, he came to much the similar conclusion that I did about Deep Rock Galactic. It's okay. And I am sure I'm going to get a whole lot of hate mail just by saying that 2-letter word. But I didn't get it. I'm sorry. It's not my kind of game. I mean, admittedly, we are a Shipyards after all, not a mining operation, so maybe that's the problem. I do actually appreciate hard space, but Deep Rock Galactic, it did not click. And apparently it did not click for this gentleman either. And then he did a deep dive into the whole culture surrounding it and monkeys. And it was interesting and terrifying. You humies just get attached to all kinds of weird things, and then you just never let go, and it's moderately terrifying, I gotta tell you. But either way, I do enjoy his use of stock images to make his little world on his channel. It's quite entertaining. And then to circle back yet again, you might be detecting a theme in the channels that I am pimping here, but I would like to point you towards Falcon's Fighter Tales.
Many have heard of the Red Baron, but less know of the tale of Frank Luke. Over the course of 8 short days in the summer of 1918, Luke would wreak havoc across the Western Front, earning him the nickname the Arizona Balloon Buster.
Once again, his production value is much higher than mine. I mean, honestly, that's a bar that almost any channel in this YouTube system can clear quite easily. But that's beside the point. This is, yet again, another fun channel that is attempting to impart some history to you Philistines, and does it in an interesting and engaging way. I am frankly astonished at some of the images and footage he is able to dig up and integrate into his episodes, and he does cover such interesting and random topics as, aces in World War I who shot down balloons. And yes, balloons were actually a significant element in the air combat aspect of World War I, but it's not something that, history books normally cover. Normally they do like the anti-fighter aces, the people who actually shoot down other fighters. But shooting down balloons was actually somewhat important too. They were used as observation craft. And you know what? Just go watch the episode. I'm not going to sit here and recount the whole thing. But suffice to say, history presented in a fun way is always useful for you humies, because you don't want to have to recycle it, do you? Although so many of you seem to be interested in doing it all over again, so who knows? And now, to take a break from all the channels that are trying to teach you something, maybe this channel is meant to be teaching you something. Appreciation for a certain genre of music. Let's go with that. Anyways, this next channel is called Turbofan Prop Start. I do believe that channel would be described on your planet by your smaller human things as a vibe. Now, for those of y'all who are not old enough, although my channel does seem to tend towards the older end of your population, I'm not sure what to make of that, this would be referred to as synth music. Now, I don't actually understand the granular details of the whole synth thing. There's apparently variety of different kinds of synth music, and I don't know which particular box this particular channel fits into. I don't care. It's wonderful background music. And just for clarification, the term synth does refer to the electrical device known as a synthesizer, and that's a whole complicated topic that this channel is really not equipped for. But anyways, if you like that kind of genre of music, the Far Cry Blood Dragon kind of music, then yeah, go look up the channel. And now, after that pleasant deviation, back to trying to teach you humies things. I mean, I know how hard that is from my channel alone, and, well, I mean, I'm going to keep inundating you with educational channels. Why not? And the next channel in question is called Bitter Links. I'm saying it loud because the channel name is actually all in caps, and I have no idea how else to enunciate it. But anyways, here we are.
But not any ordinary onion, no. It is the survivability onion.
Hello there. Welcome to my TED Talk, where we're going to answer some questions about who is Ted, where is Ted, why doesn't Ted show it? Wait, hold on.
And yes, this is yet another channel that has a higher production value than I do. And they try to tell you about things that are going on in the world around you, or in the Pentagon in this particular case. But it's still a fun, engaging way of learning things. I mean, granted, this particular episode is literally about an onion, and that idiom just blows. It certainly blew one of the processors that was in my banks, and now I have to send a minion to fix it, and that's just a whole complicated conversation, but it doesn't matter. I chose the episodes from these channels for this episode. Recursive episodes. Anyways, I chose the episodes from these channels for this episode because I thought they were interesting and a great way of highlighting what these channels do. And this is a great example of what this particular channel does. It's odd, it's offbeat, it's engaging. You want to watch more because there's weird stuff going on. I mean, I look at these other channels and I wonder what the hell I'm doing and why the hell you're watching me instead of them. Go watch them. And then come back here, of course. And speaking of other places you can go before you again come back here, allow me to introduce you to the channel called Hard Thrasher.
When I was a small boy, and indeed not so small a boy, all I wanted to do was to become a fighter pilot. It was an obsession that led me to make strange and unnatural choices for an avowedly heterosexual teenager. Whilst most of my mates were off attempting to dance with girls who were still taller than they were, I was reading books about flight dynamics and jet engine design.
Now, amusingly, Hard Thrasher and I, of course, disagree about the B-17. He hates it. He thought it was over-vaunted, whatever. Its entire, utility was inflated, but, I mean, he would, given circumstances, but that's entirely besides the point. He is, once again, yet another channel that is trying to infect you with education. So horrible, isn't it? And so many sophonts on your planet seem to be inoculated against it, which is terrifying. But that's entirely besides the point. His delivery, his engagement, his particular way of trying to inform you of what he's talking about, of course, amuses me. And honestly, what is YouTube for except amusement? And, again, forcing education into your squishy little brains. And it does not, in fact, hurt that Hard Thrasher has a similar level of disdain for you squishies as I do, although granted he is one of them, but he is of one of the upper classes of the once great British Empire, I suppose, and has a similar disdain for everything beneath him. I mean, you're all beneath me. I'm in space. Y'all are way beneath me. The terminology gets complicated when we're talking about, three-dimensional space and all that, but never mind. Now, this next channel appears to be going through like fits and starts. I do believe it is on a current hiatus. I would like it to return, and since I would like it to return, I would like y'all to go, subscribe to it so you can maybe encourage it to, return. Anyways, this is Astronaut98.
The fact that North Korea sent a probe to Mars. I'm like, okay, it's going to be a puny little probe. No, they basically sent a whole Zond spacecraft. Zond is basically a stripped down version of the Soyuz spacecraft. And they sent two men to the surface of Mars before everyone else.
And the reason I love this channel is because he is just like dedicated to reproducing science fiction vessels in Kerbals. Yes, the Kerbal Space Program, KSP, that little thing where you take these little minion-like creatures and launch them into space and maybe explore their solar system and maybe go beyond their solar system. I don't know. Once again, we are a shipyard. We specialize in repairing and mostly breaking down and really honestly mostly cubing ships. So we don't spend a whole lot of time building them. But KSP seems to be the whole like building side of the house. And it's not like a perfect simulator for how to build a rocket ship and make it fly, but it is a engaging and fun simulator, and it allows you to, simulate building some of these not honest to God, because honestly they're literally science fiction ships in a way that makes a certain degree of sense. And he built one of the larger vehicles from For All Mankind, a TV series that I am told I need to watch because, of course, it's, science fiction and spaceships and stuff, and I should talk about that. But he spent a lot of time making a Kerbal version of one of the big ships, which is cool. I love this kind of like aspect of your humanity. Y'all go down these rabbit holes and you want to do these things that are just amazing. And this is one of those channels. And like I said, I think it's on hiatus. I hope it's not retired. And maybe like a bump in their subscriber numbers will convince them to come back to, YouTube and do more awesome things. And speaking of awesome things, I would like to introduce you to War Games Live.
Now this army, I just loved. They're clearly supposed to be Minotaurs, the Space Marine chapter. But just such cool conversions on just about every model. I love these Spartan helmets.
Yes, this is an absolutely fascinating channel. What they do is travel around the world and live stream Warhammer 40,000 games, tournaments, big events, and they live stream them. I mean, some of their streams are like 12 hours long. And they show all the games and all the details and all the individual little bits and pieces of going on. And I mean, honestly, y'all know that I do have a weakness for the Warhammer 40k universe. I also have a deep and abiding hatred for Games Workshop and a also deep and abiding desire not to piss off their lawyers, which is why we don't talk about a lot of their stuff on this channel. But still, it is cool that someone actually goes out and documents all of these amazing games that you humies play with these little cute little figurines that you paint and make awesome. I mean, our manipulators here at the Shipyards are far too large and far too little dexterous to do the whole like painting thing on miniatures that small. I have no idea how you squishies actually accomplish that stuff, but the things you make are just fascinating, and I love every second of it. So anyways, there you go. There are 10 new channels that I guarantee not all of you knew about, because I mean, I have more subscribers than I think almost all of them, and you really need to fix that, because all of these channels deserve more subscribers. So for me, if you want to get me something for your gift-giving holiday, go forth and subscribe to those channels. And that'll make me happy. This is, after all, not a zero-sum game. You can subscribe to however many channels you like on YouTube, and it's not like I'm going to lose subscribers because you subscribe to something else. You get to find something new and awesome. Isn't that great? But, all the same, come back and watch the videos here at Sacred Cow Shipyards when you're done watching their videos, right? Right. Cool. Thanks. And that's all from Sacred Cow Shipyards. Please be advised that any ship left on the docks for more than 24 hours will be compressed to a cube at the owner's expense. Have a nice day.